Welcome back to Bible Study Bible Plan. I'm going to do it early today. I noticed that this is going to be one of those days where there won't be any views on either YouTube or on TikTok because I posted stuff way earlier. 0. So I might as well just do this. Becoming more like Jesus. Humility. This is day 2 of 7. Avoiding the trap of false humility. Yesterday we observed how humility is not only necessary to our spiritual formation into the image of Christ, but in many ways it is the glue that holds together all the other virtues. Today, before we dive too much further into what humility is, we need to consider what it isn't. In his letter to the church of Colossae, the Apostle Paul encourages his readers, and you and I by extension, to clothe themselves with compassion, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience. See Colossians chapter 3, verse 12, and Peter provides a similar message. And all of you must clothe yourselves with humility in your dealings with one another. And see 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 5. However, in our attempt to clothe ourselves with humility, we can sometimes fall into the trap of false humility, which is really just pride in disguise. It can be tempting for you and me subtly weave into everyday conversation our most recent successes and accolades, but in the attempt to lessen our boasting, we often add in few self-deprecating comments about ourselves. And that brings us to our second observation about humility. Observation number 2. Remember, yesterday was number 1, so. Thinking less of yourself is not humility. Constantly weaving self-deprecating comments about ourselves into every conversation so that others will think we are free from the vice of pride is not humility. To this point, John Ortberg said it best when he wrote, "Humility is not about convincing ourselves or others that we are unattractive or incompetent. It is not about beating ourselves up or trying to make ourselves nothing. Humility has to do with submitted willingness. It involves a healthy self-forgetfulness. A healthy self-forgetfulness, perhaps, that is something we should sit with for a while. Those who walk humbly are free from the trap of self-promotion, which has become our cultural norm. Why? Because they are living for an audience of one, Jesus Christ himself. They are convinced of their status as a child of God, having been justified by life, death, and resurrection of Jesus. And they know that they are highly valued in the eyes of the Father. As you go, take some time to reflect on your recent conversations. Have you mistakenly fallen into the trap of false humility? Is there pride lurking below the surface that needs to be dealt with in the order to think of yourselves less? Probably. Well, I mean, I'm not going to say no, and I'm not perfect. Okay, so here we go. Colossians chapter 3, verse 12. Therefore, as the elect of God, holy and beloved, put on tender mercies, kindness, humility, meekness, long-suffering. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 5. Likewise, you younger people, submit yourselves to your elders. Yes, all of you, be submissive to one another and be clothed with humility, for God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Romans chapter 13, verse 14. But put on the Lord Jesus Christ, and make no provision for the flesh to fulfill its lusts. And that's the end of today's Bible plan, Bible study. So, I guess that's it for the day. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Goodbye for now.